proceed on the topic being assigned to me, which is budgeting, first let me introduce myself. I am 𝐋𝐞𝐚𝐫𝐧withEJ, taking up the course of Bachelor in Special Needs Education, major in elementary school teaching. So before we tackle the budgeting, let us first discuss the root word budget. So what is budget? Budget is the sum of finances allocated for a particular purpose and the summary of intended expenditures along with proposals on how to meet them. So this is kind of confusing, but in simple terms, budget is the statement of estimated income and expenses for a period of time. This is how you handle your money. So the money can come from your income, your salary, or your allowance. So budget is also called financial plan, while in a layman's term, we call it the spending plan, the plan on how you would use your money. I hope you have understand the word budget because we will be understanding well the term budgeting if we have tackled budget. Okay, so today we'll be discussing the following topics, which is budgeting itself, its three main components, the budget plan, and the principles in creating your own budget plan, and the most important is the guidelines on self-disciplined spending. So let us proceed. Now the question is, what is budgeting? When you hear the word budget, what comes into your mind? Budgeting is the process of creating a plan on how you would spend your money. It is the designing, implementing, and operating a budget. Does the word budget rings a bell? If you have listened to what I have discussed earlier in discussing the root word of budgeting, which is budget, you have understand that budget is the spending plan. Now, the process creating that plan is called budgeting. Budgeting is simply balancing your income and your expenses. It's just preparing your financial plan. Again, if budget is the financial plan or the spending plan, the process in creating that plan is called budgeting. So under the budgeting, we have three major components, which is the income, savings, and expenses. Now, for you to be able to understand it clearly, we will apply it to the budget plan. Now, Jay, what is a budget plan? Budget plan is simply the guide on how you would earn, save, and spend your money that comes into your pocket. Let us discuss the three major components, okay? So first, we have the income, which is in the budget plan. It is called the pocket in. Pocket in shows the breakdown of all your income or the money that comes into your pocket. This money can be your salary or allowance. Now, let us proceed to pocket out. Pocket out is the tally or the jotting down of all your expenses. So the expenses would be the housing. If you are boarding, it would be your boarding house fee, your electric bill, water bill, transportation, food, groceries, dining out, dining in, your shopping, and everything in between. Now, the pocket out is called the expenses. Proceeding, if we add on the pocket in and minus it in the pocket out, we will have our pocket left over. So the pocket left over is the savings, okay? The savings are for future purposes or for emergency purposes. These are the money that is left after you have spent all your allocated needs and wants. I hope you have understand me. So let us proceed with the principles in creating your own budget plan. So in the sim, we have 8 principles to be exact. Now, for you to be able to understand it well and remember it more, I have summed it up into 4 major principles. Okay, so first, we have lifestyle. So in the lifestyle, we need to identify and understand our hobbies, habits, and our financial status. Now, after understanding our lifestyle, we will have to set our financial goals. Now, this is the second principle. Setting your financial goals is dependent on your lifestyle. In this, I mean that if your lifestyle is more about spending, then your financial goals is that you want to save up more. Okay? Now, this will lead us into the third principle, which is the needs and the wants. Okay? You need to sort things out. The things you need the most, the necessities, and the things you just want. Okay? After that, we will have the fourth principle, which is the most important one. It is the pocket leftover should be 0 or more. Now, why do you think so? Now, the main reason of having a budget plan is for us to save and for us to equify our expenses with our income. Am I right? Now, this would be an evaluation on how effective your budget plan is. Okay? I hope you understand me. Going back to the third principle, which is the needs and the wants. Okay? It is important to identify your lifestyle and understand it for you to sort things well. For you to weigh which is more important and less important. Okay? So that is the principles in creating your own budget plan. Now, there is a commonly used and known to be successful plan used by everyone, especially in the business industry and those who are budget conscious. Now, this is called the 50-30-20 rule. Now, Jay, what is it? It just simply 50% of your income is allocated for your needs, while the 30% of your income goes to your wants, and the 20% of your income goes to your savings. It is known to be simple and a successful budget plan because even the students can actually use it. What is the purpose of the plan we created if we don't have the proper knowledge and proper approach on how we discipline ourselves in spending? Now we will be discussing the guidelines in self-disciplined spending. First, we have the budget plan record book. Now, Jay, what is the budget plan record book? Budget plan record book is your daily references of your financial progress. Now, it helps you keep track of your progress in your financial status, whether you have achieved your financial goals or not. Now, the second guideline is avoid impulse buying. This is most common in women rather than men because women are known to be fond of impulse buying stuff that they saw on the internet or in the mall. Now, it is hard for us to avoid impulse buying, but as much as possible, we need to in order for us to achieve our financial goals. This would lead us into the third guideline, which is spending on purposeful things and useful things. Now, we are known to buy stuff that is on trend. Okay? If this product is on trend, we tend to buy it in the ideals that maybe it will go out of stock, or we may be left out in the trend. It is hard to cope up, but as much as possible, we need to avoid this and spend our money in a more purposeful things, on the things that we could use in the long run. Now, there are things that is really trendy, but they only last for a few months, but still we need to buy things that we could use in the long run, rather than buying expensive, trendy things as for statement purposes. Last guideline we have is buy inexpensive yet quality products. We tend to buy to those company which is really popular. We need to avoid and control the urge in buying stuff in the stores that is pricey, okay? Instead of going to the mall and buy your groceries, your goods, go to the wet market, which is more affordable and yet less pricey rather than the mall itself, because you don't actually buy the product, yet you also buy the name of the mall, okay? If you have understand it. Now, the main goal of budgeting is for us to have savings. If we continue buying stuff we don't really need in the long run, buying expensive things, yet we could only find it in thrift shops or in the market, we tend not to achieve our goal, okay? In the long run, we must consult our needs rather than our wishes. But if you have already established your finances, then go ahead disregarding the ideals of sorting out your needs and wants. But if you're still in the process of establishing your finances, you must take responsibility of the things you spend on, because at the end of the day, the simplest meaning of budget is telling your money where to go. It is your responsibility and primary obligation to allocate the things you really need and those things that could be set aside first. Always remember, a personal budget is a manifestation of your decisions. This is EJ Lugmao, signing off.